and play a major part on who Santa Claus is. Because how in the hell can a man come down a chimney on fire and not get burned unless he's a deity? And then this motherfucker turned into Superman and shoot. A lot of people don't understand that he's a god. He's a god. So the Yule wheel, which is the solar wheel, is a plagiarized African calendar that has existed both to 15,000. We ain't gonna even put it a damn date on it, because when we do the logical understanding of that, they couldn't damn just create a damn calendar in one day. So if the oldest day is 4,126 years BC, they at least had to have at least 2 times that amount to do the research, would take it to damn 12,000 BC. That's just being logical. Okay, that's just being logical. Okay, before any European calendar. Okay, so we know that no other people worship the sun and venerated the sun the way that we do. So when you look at God, when you start seeing all these gods with halos behind their head, that's when you anthropomorphize a cosmological entity. Heru is also in human form, but he's also in solar form. Osiris is also a part of the sun. And so Osiris was the first man god who was depicted as being the son of the sun. He was the son of the sun. He was the sun on earth. He was the sun in the flesh. He was the Sarah, son of the sun. Okay? And so when you put that wheel, what you call the Yule wheel, so I don't understand how no black woman calling herself a witch, talking and putting this wheel up, don't know about the one that came from our own people that's damn near 15,000 years older than the damn wheel of the Wiccan. I don't understand that. You lost me, sister. You lost me, brother. There's some crazy coon niggas out there that want to be male witches too. They don't want to be African. They don't know about that. There's no difference in this wheel. Only the only thing is that they got their own seasonal wheel inside the 300. So they got their own season. Again, the 24 arms representing the hours of the day, the 12 gods and goddesses represent the months of the year, 12 up, 12 down, represent 12 hours a night, 12 hours a day. Okay? And again, we was hitting on the old map. And if you go inside of that, you will see the 4. You see, if you see where the head is in the middle, you will see 4 zoo types. And I'll get into that later. You will see the 4. You see 2 up top, 2 at the bottom. Them represents the equinoxes and the solstices. That's all it is. That's all. You see the 2 in the going through the middle, which represent the equinoxes. Okay, and so that's their own particular wheel. It is no different. It's no different. So this is the African seasonal calendar. The flood period, the growing period, and the harvest period. Now, let me come out of here. I'm ready to work out now. I'm ready to work out now. I'm ready to work out now. So we're talking about here the wicked witches of Greek and Roman mythology, which they call the Fates. You see what I'm saying? Which they call the Norns in the Nordic persuasion, which they are the controllers of the wheel. And they determine the fate of everybody on the planet. And they say when they got the phrase to throw a nigga a lifeline. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it means. Now, if these witches, if these crazy crackers are in control of the wheel, then that lets you know why you're in the predicament of you're in today. You have to create a liberation of will. You got to create a wheel of freedom. You got to deify and make holy those ancestors, those seasons that is going to empower you to throw the shackles of slavery off of your back. Throw the shackles of the oppressor. You can't come in here talking about the days of the week in the Nordic persuasion, calling on Thor and Wednesday for Woden and Friday for Frigra and Tuesday for Tyr, all four Roman deities, Nordic Viking deities. And I'm going to get on that. And so under the Cronus imperialistic colonization of time, most people are imprisoned to holidays, planetary interpretations, deities, and days totally alien to their own culture. Most of the time today is based on you getting your ass up and going to that plantation to work for that white man. That's why when you go in there, you hit your time clock, nigga. You hit your time clock to let that white man know you on his cycle, okay? And so again, this is Father Time, which is Saturn, which is Cronus, and the planet Saturn. A lot of people, talk about. So what is the energy of the planet Saturn? Okay, and you see Saturn is also Satyr, okay, which is half goat, half man, which is a freaky sexual deviant deity, Pan. Okay, Pan was the king of the Satyr. Okay, and you see Saturn and Satyr. Okay, you see what he is. Okay, and you see him always blowing that flute, which you also see in the Pied Piper. And so you see the demonic energy. Okay, again, Pan was the grandson of Saturn. He was the grandson of Cronus, who ate his children. Now, a demonic deity that ate his own, and not only did he eat his own children, he killed his own father. So this motherfucker was off the chain. This is the energy that is in that planet. I don't ascribe to none of the planets being called by nothing Greek or Roman, because again, we was the first ones that charted the stars. And when you go to ancient Egypt, they never called these planets by no Greco-Roman names, because the Greco-Roman civilization didn't even exist at the goddamn time. You niggas is trapped in a bottle. You is trapped just like the genie in the lamp. So if you explain this information without explaining the negative destructive energy that goes into these deities, then I don't respect that. I got to say it just like that. You see what I'm saying? Here he is. This is Saturn. This is Cronus. And you see him with the sickle murdering his children. Out of all the children that survived was Zeus. Okay, which his mama hid him, on the island of Crete. We'll get into that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get back to Saturn, but just let you know that that's the deity, that's the planet that's sacred to the month of January. Okay, which is also named after a deity, Janus. Okay, so we're dealing with Father Time, Saturn. We're going to be dealing with Pan, that freaky Satyr, okay? S-A-T-Y-R, Saturn, okay? A Saturn, which is Capricorn. So I ain't got nothing to do with even though I'm born in what they call the month of January, I'm not no motherfucking Capricorn. I'm not none of that. Nigga. I'm the fire of the sun, and that's all I'm gonna be. You understand what I'm saying? If you talking about you a Capricorn, nigga, you a goat worshiper, you a homosexual. Pan was a homosexual. Matter of fact, all the Greco-Roman gods were homosexual. And then when you talking about the baby of New Year, that's Bacchus, okay, which is the god of intoxicants, the god of wine. Now, how the fuck is a baby the god of wine? You got a baby, the god of love, okay? How the fuck is these babies, and you see that if you get the book 16 Crucified Saints, that Bacchus was also one of the 16 crucified. You see him in the form of a cross in the middle, okay? You see Janus in the back. And you can see that Janus, which the Romans took from Acher, which is the two twin lions that represent yesterday and tomorrow, with the present being the sun rising through the middle. Okay? You can see where they stole that and co-opted that. But don't think that is the same. A lot of people, oh, that's the same. No, it ain't the goddamn same. Okay? The white man got a whole different spirit, a whole different sick psychology that goes behind that. Okay? The fact that now when we dealing with this calendar, I must say that the Romans being egotistical and really not knowing the true calculations of the calendar, they move months around as they chose. If a Caesar thought that he was the greatest Caesar, he would take days out of one month and put it in his own month to make his month have more days than the next goddamn Caesar. That's why you got February with 28 days. When it came out of Africa, it was 30 days, 12 months, with a special month at the end of 5 days. Okay? So Julius Caesar, who created the Julian calendar from the African calendar, felt like he was the greatest pharaoh, the greatest Caesar, the greatest ruler of Rome, and he put an extra day in his month, okay, which caused July to go to 31 days. And then Augustus Caesar came right behind him, say, well, God damn it, I'm just as great as he is. Let me put a day in my shit too. And so August got 31 days. Okay, but when the Roman calendar started, it only had 10 months. Okay, it started with March and it ended with December. Okay, with December being the 10th month. Okay, now look at this. Okay, now when you go to I'm going down to I'm gonna read it off. Though we think of September, October, November, and December as months 9, 10, 11, and 12, these months were 7, 8, 9, 10 on the ancient Roman calendar. This is how they got their name. Now, when you go to September, the word septum, S-P-T-E-M, is 7. Okay? It's 7. But in the calendar of the day, it's the 9th month. Right? It's the 9th month. It's 2 months out of goddamn sequence. October, which comes from octo, like octagon, means 8. But it's not the 8th month. It's the fucking 10th month. Then you go to November, novum, N-O-V-E-M, Latin for 9. But it's not the 9th month. It's actually the 11th month. And then you come to December, which decem, D-E-C-E-M, is 10, okay? But it's actually the 12th month. And after December, it was just a void till you come back around to March. So then they added January and February last. Okay, they added January and February last, but because they were so tired of scrambling the months up already, they just left September, October, November, and December the way it was. They just left it like that. So if you can't see, now, if you a teacher, and you say, for instance, you got some second graders or some third graders, and you write 7 on the board, S-E-V-E-N, and ask the student to come up there and put the number next to that. If you wrote 7, and they came up there and wrote the number 9, that shit would be wrong. Okay? If you wrote 8 and told the student to come up there and write the numeral for that number, and they went up there and wrote 10, that would be wrong. Okay? If you went up there and you put 9 on the board and say, come up there and write the numerical number up there for that, what I wrote up 9, and they came up there and